You're fluent in a foreign language when you know at least 20,000 words. Oh, you're fluent in a foreign language when you can tackle any topic at a drop of a hat. And you're fluent in a language when you can speak a language perfectly. Hi, my name is Luca from lucalamparello.com, and today I'm going to tackle the beautiful and much debated concept of fluency in a foreign language. Let's get started. It is astounding and quite surprising to see how differently people see a single word in the English language, and that is fluency. For a lot of people, fluency is strictly connected with the amount of words that you know in a language. So some people think that the more words you know, the more fluent you are. But things are a little bit more nuanced than that. There are two main points I wanted to address in this regard. First of all, native speakers and non-native speakers tend to use just a small fraction of the existing vocabulary in a language. So the first point I wanted to address is that non-native as well as native speakers of a specific language actually use just a small portion of the vocabulary, of the existing vocabulary in any language. Now, you might be wondering why and how it is possible that native speakers and non-native speakers use just a small fraction of the existing vocabulary in a foreign language. For example, are we talking about dozens, hundreds of thousands of words? The reality is it doesn't really matter, but what matters is that we tend to use a small fraction of the existing words because we work in networks. So if you know, say, 1,000 words, you can come up with hundreds of thousands of possible combinations, that is, sentences, to get our point across. So, for example, if I conjure up the word heart, you might have in your head, if you're a native English speaker, hundreds, maybe not hundreds, but dozens of expressions related to the word heart, which is a common word. For example, from the bottom of my heart. This is not for the faint-hearted. At the heart of the matter, heart of gold, heart of stone. So as you can see, and this goes for a lot of common and uncommon words, there's always a constellation of elements surrounding that word. And what happens is that native speakers, and you can see it in a 5 or 6-year-old kid, don't know that many words, but they can arrange them like native speakers would, so forming sentences and expressions that are commonly used in a foreign language. That means being fluent in a language. Some years ago, when I was in Russian, the organizers of a conference I participated in and myself decided to make a few short videos in Russian. And it turned out that at a certain point while we were shooting filming live, I could not remember the word combination of, that is, смесь. And I remember that someone wrote in the comment section below, a very nice place, that I didn't speak Russian well or fluently because I didn't know such a common word. So going back to what I was saying before, this is not just a matter of knowing one word or not knowing one word, but the point here is that fluency is not a line that you cross. So either you're fluent or you're not fluent. There are a lot of different degrees of fluency because fluency at the end of the day is just a continuous line. What we do for the sake of, of simplicity is to distinguish three main phases of fluency. So there is a continuous spectrum of fluency, but we mainly divide it into elementary, intermediate, and advanced. And each and every one of these phases corresponds to different abilities. And I'm still referring to spoken fluency. And another thing that you have to remember is that fluency, the quality and the quantity of fluency depends on your path. Native speakers have all the same path, more or less. But the truth is that adults learn in different ways. So the channels, the people, the things you do, the materials, they all have an impact on the degree and quality and quantity of fluency. So never forget that what you do impacts on who you are. Now that I told you what I think fluency is not, let me give you my own personal definition of fluency. To me, spoken fluency is the linguistic ability combined with cultural awareness to confidently and smoothly communicate with native speakers in a meaningful way. That querulous and fatuous Roué enervated me to no end. At every party, he wanted to be the cynosure. Well, first of all, I hope I pronounced it well, and second of all, what the heck did I just read? As you can see, these are actually words that exist in the English language, from querulous to fatuous, but they're less common, so they're less used. There are synonyms for these words, but how many times have you heard these words, even if you're a native English speaker? That goes to show that fluency is a relative phenomenon. As I was saying before, we don't know and we can't use all the existing words in a spoken language. There are words that are very uncommon. There are words that are used in specialized fields, and there are even words that are common but have uncommon connotations of meaning. This goes to show that any language is a huge, immense ocean to explore. We will never explore all of it. Nobody knows a language perfectly, and that's fine. The final and ultimate goal is always to communicate. So if you even know a tiny fraction of a language, it's fine, as long as you can use that knowledge well. You can put it to use to communicate effectively. That's what fluency really is. So there you have it. In a nutshell, fluency is not just about the words that you know, but first and foremost, how you use them. Fluency is not a line that you cross, so one day you're fluent, the other day you're not fluent, or the other way around. But it's more like a continuous line that has no boundaries, and it can mainly be divided into the three stages of elementary, intermediate, and advanced. And ultimately, fluency is a relative phenomenon. Fluency means to use well your language in order to communicate with other human beings. It's not about knowing a language perfectly, because at the end of the day, nobody, not even native speakers, know their own language perfectly. So the bottom line of all this is that if you want to truly be fluent in a foreign language, you have to focus on the process of becoming fluent. You have to talk, to read out loud, to read books, to watch documentaries, movies, to go out with your friends, to live experiences. You have to make it happen in real life. That's what fluency is all about, living. So as usual, if you want to know more, please click on the link in the description box. There's a huge post waiting for you with a lot of other practical steps that I didn't include in this video, and hopefully I will see you there. Feel free to drop comments and interact with me. Again, thanks a bunch for watching, and see you very soon here on YouTube.